everyone. So we're previewing Rosehill, 2nd of July, 7 metre rail. Traditionally it is the place to be, on pace fence, usually coming across, or it's just a real Rosehill sort of, you've got to be inside in the run. Maybe get a couple off in the straight, may be okay, but you really want to be saving ground or up on the lead and doing the work. Looks a decent day, so we'll get straight into it. First race, Waller holds the key. You've got Foxplay last start winner in a similar event to this, only going up sort of the short thing. Was dominant there, got up on the speed and put them away. Coglier didn't have much luck in that race. The three sort of horses that we're trying to do a bit of guesswork with, all from the Waller yard. Firstly, this one's high missed. Keys at the start, sort of misses the kick. Held up to the turn. They have gone quite quick here and do slow down late, but still see he's struggling to get to the outside. Takes his time to pick up before really closing hard late. Not even in the picture. These horses are really stopping, but he is putting a margin on the rest of them, so I don't want to be too dismissive of the run, especially because he's lightly raced. He did trial well, but do be a little bit wary that did get the pace to suit there and probably won't get that here. Gate 6 going to get back and give them a start. So I'm not saying it can't win, but just be a little bit careful that that wasn't flattered. Going up in grade, a lot of things different today to that run. Stablemate Caesar Augustus, very different. Jumped clean. A little bit better race. They do go quick again, but he races a lot more forward. This is him coming across, eventually ends up on the fence behind the leaders. Here he comes here around the leaders' heels. Doesn't take anywhere near as long to wind up as High Mist and puts the race away quite dominantly. Had some improvement in him and really sort of put them away, so big gaps behind. A lot of good signs there. He's got to raise 250 metres in distance, just as High Mist does. Outside gate today, not sure what they do, whether they go forward similar to Foxplay. Waller really holds the key here, and the last of the Waller brigade that we'll have a quick look at is Awoke, because it can improve as well. Not so important where it got to in the run here. We'll watch the straight. Very green. This is him coming down the outside. See him sort of put in for a couple of strides, balk, put in for a couple of strides, balk, and then eventually pins his ears with 100 to go. Obviously has ability. Don't know how it won that photo, but obviously has ability and is capable of improving. Draws inside here, so probably going to be ridden for luck. Abdallah, a good jockey for that, usually pretty patient, waiting for gaps, and not surprised to see it pop up. Obviously I'm a fan of Sweet Chestnut, but it's not racing to its best level, and a bit of a funny one last start. Foxplay's obviously the horse to beat. Coglier's got runs on the board. The three maiden winners last start, all very lightly raced, obviously only having 2 starts, and the others winning on debut, and just a bit of a race to watch, I think, for the future. I've really struggled to work out what Waller's going to do tactics-wise, and it's just a bit of a crazy race that I'd rather not do my head in early about and just watch and learn. Race 2, and really Kentucky Dane gets its chance, I think. Looks like getting a soft lead for the first time this preparation. Third run back, having gone from the 15 to the 18. Have a quick look at this last start replay where they've gone out hard on a soft track. He's 1800 metres second, she's 1800 metres second up, trailing the leaders. So she has had a fairly soft trail, but still has had to work harder than those back in the ruck here. Drags the rest of them up to it, and he's right there until very, very late. Piamimi obviously comes out of that same race and does beat Kentucky Dane home, but did no work in the run. Gets been to go back and got past it late. Kentucky still up here battling on. I think all these horses, Thurston Consign, Olympic Academy, Vassal would all, even Chizoso would be well and truly favoured in this race. And Kentucky Dane just knocks up that last bit. Very different circumstances today. Should be leading on the fence with the pattern hopefully in its favour and getting all favours. Pindam Pearl is 28 days between runs, rising 400 metres, does have some 2,000 metre form back in Melbourne, but not the strongest. Kind of had every chance there, and probably will see every chance against here, but just hard to chime into it at the short price. Tim Martin is going well, but this would be a good training effort for him to get it to win. Song and Laughter defied its distance queries by missing the kick at last start, and perfect ride, raises in grade, and not sure. Piamimi, as we saw in the Kentucky Dane run, obviously has a chance here, but I think it's a real risk at this sort of trip. Just sort of pack chases for mine around this sort of trip, and I'd like to see it back around 1400 metres. Not surprised if it won, but I'm willing to be against it. My Fair Lady's another one, raising 500 metres off luckless runs basically, all preparation. No idea what it's going to produce. Big ask, and have to be against it, but not surprised if it does something crazy. Princess Aria is the one I thought was sort of ticking a lot of boxes, even though it was way up in grade as form against a lot weaker horses. But draws the inside, won't do any work, no weight on its back, hard fit, lots of ticks. If it gets the breaks, it might be the one that can beat the others at a bit of value. So Kentucky Dane, clearly from Princess Aria, is probably my look there, but Princess Aria only slightly from there. I think there's very even behind. Race 3 for the sprinters. Freeze the Chargers and Glenbourne Dane look like fighting out the early pace. Roused, Felines, El Sasso, Turmel, all up there. So there's a bit of pressure. Not convinced that any of them are really the sprinters. I think 1100's as far as they want. Sort of Felines, Glenbourne Dane, Freeze the Chargers in a pressure race. El Sasso is one that will sit just behind them and probably can finish off, but it's not the most, convincing horse either. Arouse can improve, and the one I'm sort of half keen on, even though might have to defy the pattern, is Got the Goss. If it gets back on the inside, I think it's going to be strong late. J Ford's just got a track up there somewhere, and around the $13 mark looks the value for mine early. Nothing much between the rest of them. If they happen to pull up, which it happens a lot in these races where there looks a lot of speed, Glenbourne Dane probably has a little bit of the edge over Freeze the Chargers. If they go quick, I'd go the other way around and say Freeze the Chargers is probably a bigger chance of maintaining it if Kathy O'Hara takes the front. But not much between all of these horses. I think Felines is up against it, 60 kilos wide gate, 1100, very short early, and it's got a good chance. It's got a chance, but it's definitely got things against. So Got the Goss, not confidently, but at value, and then not much between the rest. Probably Freeze the Chargers second pick, maybe El Sasso, and Arouse is the other, is the knockout. Won't spend much time on the Winter Cup. I'm very surprised to hear that Foreign Prince's connections come out and said they're possibly looking for a sit here. There's not any pace on paper, so the lead would definitely be up for the grabs. If they chose to go that way, I'm not sure what they'll do. Gate 6, where are they going to go? So, not surprised if it takes it up despite the talking. Toucan Chew will be on speed. Loophole looks like it'll track them. The question mark on most of these horses at the 2400. Janoob's proven at it. Foreign Prince, Loophole, Toucan Chew, First Bloom Swift Lady aren't. Jaguar is, but has not shown that top form just yet this preparation. Probably entitled to now on a bit of a firmer surface, fourth run back. It's the improver. Gate 1 won't do any work and it'll be coming late. Toucan Choose the one in, probably the best form over this sort of distance range. Foreign Prince is also obviously in good form. Toucan Chew probably a little bit more of a stable choice. So reluctantly in a race I won't be too excited to play about in is Toucan Chew from Jaguar, and Janud probably third pick. Race 5, 1800 metre highway. High Tech comes out and the bottom three come out. I thought Rosa Ruby was probably the best option. If we have a quick look at its last run last week, not really relevant where it gets to its fourth in the run, so it has had its chance here. Princess Aria, who I'm half keen on earlier in the day in a much tougher race than this. Lie Direct, who came out on Wednesday, probably should have won, just didn't take advantage of the circumstances on the day, so it's placed Metropolitan Wednesday since, and Princess Aria will run earlier in the day. This is Rosa Ruby, who is just too tough for them late, has had plenty of runs, so fitness won't be a problem, and can't really see too many negatives for it today. Sean Guymer's probably not the most veteran jockey in town, hasn't had a lot of opportunities in town, especially recently, so he's probably the query, but it does look the horse to beat clearly here for mine. Premier's Gift will get out the front and battle on really well. Been leading on heavy tracks in leaders tracks, but has toughed it out really well. Probably the 8-day back up off one of those efforts is a little bit of a query, but can race well. Paricchio beat Rosa Ruby 2 starts back over a similar distance. If you forgive the last run in town, it's got to be in there at a price. Erica has strong form, but nothing to say that it's going to run the 1800 metres. It's got 1400 metre winning form, and all its best form seems around that, so I would have been more excited to see it drop back rather than raise. So Blake Shin and that, it does have the best form lines arguably, but tough to sort of come into at its early price. And Agrionius was the other one I could probably find as a winning chance, but again it's a bit weak at the end of these sort of races, so not the strongest highway. Rosa Ruby clearly on top. Premier's Gift, Paricchio, the main dangers. Race 6. Thought this really set up well for Classic Uniform to come across from a wide gate, take control back up to 1500. Did look in need of the run last start, which was surprising. He's a real burly sort of horse and takes some racing to get fit, so it's probably a good thing to see that he had some improvement left in him. Vanderkamp probably crosses with him, camps on him, gives him a chance today, sets up better than it was last start, and you're getting surprisingly better odds this week. Magic Az is a filly that has been in the wrong position its last 2 wins. Just quickly watch it straight maybe. Had to come up the inside at Hawkesbury, which wasn't the place to be, and really quite tough there. Nothing special about that form line, apart from Rudderville I think came out and won or ran second since. There's not much to say there, but it's a solid winner. Next start came out and beat Spiced and Nagging, which again is not a great pointer form wise for a race of this level, but you can see that she's in this part again where no one wanted to be on the fence and has to deal with that. Gets up the inside and beats the horse that 2 horses that were in better positions throughout the race. So hard to knock Magic Az, and probably end up in a better position today from an inside gate, just trailing those horses. Saborix comes here with a bit of a boom on it, but not sure where it gets to. I'd say back and inside will need luck. And Lanciato, first start for Mark Newman, ran quite well, beat home Classic Uniform, so not going to get conditions to suit as it did there that last start, I wouldn't think, but certainly a winning hope. Classic Uniform, the one to beat for mine, 4th run back, every sort of ticks all boxes today, D-Day, this preparation. If he's going to win this preparation, I'd say today is the day. From Magic Az, Vanderkamp, Lanciato, Dubai in style. Given if you give that last run because of the wet track to start before, probably because his 7-day backer must be thriving, give it its last chance. Race 7, and this is a bit tough for me. I think the market's pretty spot on with Oxford Poet getting a soft lead and raising out of 1350. Third run in off 2 1100 metre runs, probably gets a soft enough lead to give a good kick, and is the one to run down. Marinostro's a funny one, very weak in betting last week. Drops back in trip, which is a little bit surprising. On a quick back up, may get outside the leader, and that probably gives it a good chance here. And just Waller's the sort of person to pull that off after being weak in betting last week. Vigara will be up there as well. There's a lot of knockout sort of hopes here that you couldn't have much confidence in. Ninth Legion comes off a weakish looking Ipswich run. This Snippets Land comes back from Eagle Farm where it got out late and went okay, but that's its sort of go. Office Bearer and Wouldn't It Be Nice both look like they're going well enough to win a race. 7-day backup okay. I don't think that trying track suits Wouldn't It Be Nice as much as Office Bearer, so probably Office Bearer a bit of a knockout, and Better Not Blue's just a nightmare. You know he's going to come and knock you out one day, but it's probably time to put the line through him for a while and let him beat you if he does. So not a race I'm too excited about again, but Oxford Poet does look the leader and the one to run down, with Marinostro, Bagara closest pursuers, and the knockout Office Bearer. Race 8. Hardest race of the day for mine. Winetail's Complete Forgive first up, coming back from bone chip, knee chip, who knows operations. Wind operation as well, I believe. So you didn't see what she was capable of there, but she's obviously come back in some sort of form, but it's impossible to gauge how good a form. They all do come out of, a lot of them come out of this race. I will sort of identify them, I guess. Magic of Dreams caught wide out here. Beniti in the middle, I believe. Butterboom, Flamboyant Lass in front. Thud back. Winetail's last. So here we are. Magic of Dreams, Thud, obviously, Winetails, Flamboyant Lass, Butterboom, all coming out of this race. Beniti as well. Don't think there's a lot between them, and probably, tactics and what happens in the run is going to be interesting. The one horse I probably do want to oppose is the Unlucky Thud. There's just been so much publicity, it's come up so short. I think 1200's as far as she wants. She draws inside, going to get back on the fence, will need a bit of luck, and really think that she's been overplayed in the early market. Flamboyant Lass and Butterboom did nothing wrong here, fought on. The sort of race was run at a really even tempo. Everything has basically had its chance. I'm not thinking this is a great strength race overall, so I'm not restricting the winner to come from this race, because you can see how bunched they are, and I assume something similar is going to happen again today. So it's not a race I want to get too involved in, and I'm not surprised if basically anything wins. Flamboyant Lass is entitled to improve. In a Wink can win. It's got the ability. Awasita was terribly ridden last start and can improve. It should be right there, just behind the speed. Butterboom's obviously going to be there, and that's how she wins her races. Magic of Dreams is drawn terribly, but has the ability, not beaten far there. Thud's the one I want to oppose, but I'm not going to say it's 1,000,000 to 1. Pioneering, back in trip, strange jockey booking, but obviously drops heavily in weight for it and is drawn perfectly, can position just behind them. He's the one to beat probably, because it comes from a different form line for mine. I think that bunched form line, it's better to take that approach. She is a bit short early and I think will blow, so I'd be waiting for a better price later, but definitely would expect her to be right around the finish. In Vienna, a Complete Forgive first up and can improve, but has a wide gate and a tough job, so the price is justified. And Benit was not beaten far there and can improve. I think she's probably ready to go now too. So tough race, and I definitely won't be getting too heavily involved in this one myself. But go wide is my best suggestion and play small. Last race, probably race of the day. and keen on Thurston here. Want to look at watch 2 runs back first. Got to watch the start and the finish of both. So he jumps well here, Thurston, but from the wide gate, first up for the new stable, obviously instructed to restrain, and ends up tail of the field. And this is Thurston, this is the end of the race. They obviously weren't quick enough for horses to run on, but he hit the line really powerfully here. And was obviously always going to improve. He paraded really well in the yard for this next run at Rosehill, but again drew wide and again restrained. Back to second last. Hanging a touch and not getting the clearest of paths early in the straight. He was quickly up in distance here and on a testing surface, off a testing run first up, so he was entitled to. He looks nearly the winner here until he peaks again late, so I really think this time around back to 1500. Drawn gate 3 should settle closer. You can see that there's no problem the way he jumps. He did get a bit squeezed that time. The first start he probably jumped in front. If he can settle in the first half a dozen, he's going to take a power beating here. I think he's really just got some class on these horses. Consign's a horse I wanted to find, also back in distance, came out of the sale race, worked hard there, got to the widest in front, not far to go, and just knocked up late, backing trip. I think he's a nice horse. Very strange booking from the Wally Yard for Andrew Atkins from a wide gate, makes life very difficult, but who knows where he'll end up, but it's definitely got the capability to win the race. Gambler's Blue is probably the leader and is tough, is suited in this race, and is suited back up in trip. He's a one-pace type, and someone will expose him late if they're better than him, but he'll be there whacking away. And Embly's the other one that had no luck last start, but now draws the wider gate. If it was Ramwick, I'd be keen on him. Not sure what he's going to get to here. If he has any luck, he's the other main chance. But I thought Thurston clearly from probably Gambler's Blues Consign, not much between them. They need luck, as it does Embly, so not much between the other three. Thurston clearly on top. Hopefully we have a bit of change of fortune today and get a bit of luck, as it has been a bit of a tough week, but that's the time of year, unfortunately, and we'll just keep trying to find the right horses and things that may turn. Cheers, guys.